Friend, please don't scroll. Take a slow breath. Settle your heart for a moment. God warned you once, softly, quietly, gently. He whispered to you in moments you didn't expect, a dream that stayed in your spirit, a feeling you couldn't explain, a sign that seemed too precise to ignore, a stirring that came out of nowhere. You remember it. You felt it. You knew it wasn't random. And now, He is speaking again, not to scare you, not to condemn you, not to pressure you, but because He loves you enough to warn you one more time before you step into something that will shape your entire future, friend. He doesn't want you to miss this moment. You've been distracted lately, emotionally pulled, mentally drained, spiritually quieter than usual, not because you don't love God, not because you've turned away, not because you're unfaithful, but because something has been fighting for your attention. Something subtle, something quiet, something spiritual, and God says, I warned you before. You didn't listen then, but I'm giving you one more chance now. Not a harsh warning, not a threat, not fear, a loving interruption from a Father who sees danger you cannot see, timing you do not understand, and blessings the enemy wants to steal before you receive them. You've been feeling a strange tension in your spirit, like you're standing between two paths, like you're close to something important, but something unseen is trying to pull you away. That's because it's true. Heaven has positioned you for a shift, and hell has noticed. This is why you've been mentally under attack. This is why old temptations resurfaced. This is why you've been doubting yourself, doubting your future, doubting your worth, doubting your calling. This is why you've been feeling spiritually tired even after resting. This is why you've been emotionally sensitive even when nothing seems wrong. This is why your peace felt fragile. God says, the enemy has been trying to distract you from the very thing I warned you about. Not to destroy you, but to delay you, to keep you stuck, to keep you blind, to keep you unprepared, because the blessing that's coming next will require your full attention, your full obedience, and your full awareness. And God knows, if you miss the moment, you will step into a season you were never meant to carry. So He warns you again, gently, lovingly, patiently. Friend, you may not realize this, but you've been walking in circles. You've been touching the same patterns, facing the same tests, feeling the same internal battles, repeating cycles that look different on the outside but feel the same on the inside. God warned you the first time so the cycle could break. This time He warns you because the cycle must break. You're at the edge of a transition. You're at the door of a shift. You're at the threshold of a new season. And the enemy knows you are closer than you've ever been to clarity, healing, purpose, and divine direction. That's why the attacks increased. That's why the emotional fatigue grew. That's why old habits whispered. That's why confusion rose. That's why isolation felt comforting. That's why certain people drained you suddenly. That's why you've been feeling spiritually out of place. It's not coincidence. It's warfare, God says. I warned you before so you could see it. I'm warning you again so you won't fall for it. Friend, this is your moment. This is your turning point. This is your spiritual wake-up call. You are closer than you think, closer than you feel, closer than you've ever been, and the enemy knows it. That's why everything suddenly got heavier. But you didn't scroll. You stayed. You're listening. Your spirit is open. Your heart is soft. You're ready. God brought you here because He wants to speak to the part of you that feels tired but still hopeful, wounded but still believing, uncertain but still seeking, quiet but still listening. This warning is not to frighten you. It's to prepare you, because something is coming and you need to be spiritually awake to receive it. Take a breath. Slowly, let God whisper to you, "My child, you're at your final chance to choose differently. Don't repeat what hurt you. Don't return to what broke you. Don't go back to what I rescued you from. Don't ignore what your spirit has been trying to tell you. Friend, this is only the beginning. There is much more He wants to say. Friend, there is something you need to understand about yourself. You are not weak. You are not spiritually failing. You are not losing the battle. You are not falling behind. You are not drifting away from God. What you've been facing lately has not been a sign of spiritual decline, but a sign of spiritual transition. A transition you didn't choose, but one heaven initiated. Your spirit has been shifting before your mind caught up. That's why you felt disconnected from certain things, certain people, certain habits, certain environments, certain conversations. You've been outgrowing things quietly, even the things you thought were harmless, because God says, "I warned you before to step away, and you hesitated. Now I'm pulling you gently again because the time is shorter than you think. Not shorter in a fearful way, shorter in a divine timing way. There are blessings that have expiration windows. There are opportunities aligned with specific seasons. There are spiritual doors that close when the assignment connected to them changes, and God has been trying to prepare your heart because you are entering a season that will require a stronger, clearer, more focused version of you. But the enemy, he has studied your patterns. He knows what distracts you. He knows what weakens you emotionally. He knows who slows your progress. He knows which thoughts discourage you. He knows which temptations whisper to you. He knows what makes you hesitate. And God warned you the first time, so you would recognize the trap. This time, He warns you because the trap is closer than you realize, not to harm you, but to delay what God has written for your life. Friend, you've been feeling spiritually tired, but that tiredness has a cause. It's not burnout. It's not laziness. It's not lack of faith. It's spiritual interference. Something has been pulling at your spirit, quietly, subtly, slowly, hoping you wouldn't notice until you were too drained to resist. But the fact that you're here, reading this, listening with an open heart, means the enemy has not succeeded. You recognized something was off. You sensed something shifting. You felt a tug inside. You heard a whisper in your spirit. And God says, "That was me trying to reach you again." He has been calling you back to alignment, to clarity, to purity, to direction, to purpose, to discernment. Friend, you don't even realize how close you came to settling for less, how close you came to repeating an old mistake, how close you came to walking into something familiar but harmful, how close you came to choosing comfort over calling, how close you came to giving up on something God promised, how close you came to accepting a counterfeit blessing, how close you came to missing divine timing. But God says, "I will not let you miss it." This is your final warning because the next step matters. Take a slow breath. Feel that pressure lifting. That is God realigning your spirit. You've been restless lately, not knowing why. That restlessness is a spiritual alarm. Heaven has been ringing it softly, trying to pull you away from a direction. You are drifting toward without realizing it. There is something you are about to entertain, someone you were about to give access to, a decision you were about to make casually, a compromise you were about to consider, a distraction you were beginning to tolerate. And God says, stop, not this time. You've already learned this lesson once. This time, choose differently. You've matured. You've changed. Your discernment is sharper. Your spirit is more awake than before. But the enemy is hoping you don't recognize that. He's hoping you assume you're the same person you were in the last season. He's hoping you react the same, choose the same, think the same, fall for the same, ignore the same warning you ignored last time. But listen, you're not the same. Something in you has grown, even if you don't see it yet. That's why you feel things more deeply. That's why you sense shifts before they happen. That's why certain things feel wrong faster. That's why you can't enjoy things you used to. That's why your spirit rejects what your emotions accepted before. This is spiritual maturity. And God is whispering because you've grown. I can now trust you with a clearer warning. He warned you before, softly, when your spirit was still fragile. Now he warns you again, not loudly, not harshly, but with urgency wrapped in tenderness. Because this moment is pivotal. Where your heart leans next will shape the rest of this season of your life. Friend, listen to this part carefully. Something is waiting on the other side of your obedience. Something heaven has been preparing only for you. Something the enemy is terrified of you reaching. A breakthrough, a transition, a revelation, an opportunity, a relationship, a healing, a calling, an answered prayer, a shift you've been sensing but can't explain. You are on the edge of it, and the enemy wants you distracted, enough to miss the last instruction, the final nudge, the inner whisper, the divine redirection. He wants you to overwhelm to notice, too tired to pray, too numb to feel, too busy to hear, too discouraged to believe, too distracted to respond. But God says, not this time. This time you will hear me clearly, friend. He warned you before, and he's speaking again now. This is his love, not his anger. This is his protection, not his punishment. This is his guidance, not his disappointment. This is his final chance for you to choose the higher path, instead of the familiar one. Pause for a moment. Place your hand on your heart and breathe. Take a calm breath. Let your heart soften. God is still speaking. Friend, there is something God has been protecting you from that you didn't even notice. Not because you're careless, not because you're blind, not because you're spiritually weak, but because the danger wasn't obvious. It was subtle, quiet, soft around the edges, wrapped in something familiar, something comfortable, something you almost trusted. And God says, I warned you before because I saw what you didn't see. And now I'm warning you again because the danger is closer than you realize. Not danger in the sense of fear, but danger in the sense of misalignment. A single step in the wrong direction right now would cause weeks, months, even years of delay. And the enemy knows this. That's why you've been feeling pulled toward old cycles, pulled toward old desires, pulled toward old distractions, pulled toward old ways of coping, pulled toward old relationships, pulled toward old habits, not because you want them, but because the enemy is trying to reopen doors you already closed. You've Been feeling that tension inside, a small war between who you were and who you are becoming. And God says, this is your final chance to choose forward, not backward, not sideways, not in circles. Forward, because forward is where your healing is. Forward is where your clarity is. Forward is where your next blessing is. Forward is where your anointing expands. Forward is where the answered prayer is waiting. Friend, you're closer to your breakthrough than you realize. So close that hell has increased its whispers. The enemy isn't attacking you loudly. He's attacking you quietly, with weariness, with confusion, with mild discouragement, with small temptations, with emotional heaviness, with sudden sadness, with mental fog, with spiritual numbness. Not enough to alarm you, just enough to slow you down. But God is interrupting that right now. He's clearing your mind. He's sharpening your discernment. He's restoring your inner strength. He's cutting off the invisible cords draining you. He's resetting your focus. He's realigning your heart. The fact you're reading this means heaven already won the battle for your attention. Friend, be honest with yourself for a moment. You've been feeling something forming in your heart. A restlessness, a quiet tightness, a silent shift, a gentle tug. That's not anxiety, not coincidence, not mood. That's God pulling you back into alignment before you drift. He's reminding you of who you are, what He called you to be, what He delivered you from, what He warned you about, what He promised you, and what He expects you to protect. This is why He says, I warned you before, but this time the stakes are higher. Not in a scary way, but in a destiny way. Heaven is preparing something specific with your name on it. A blessing you prayed for, a door you waited for, a season you're finally ready for. But there is something, someone, some habit, some pattern, some distraction that cannot go with you into this next chapter. And God is saying, if you don't let this go now, it will delay what I'm sending next. That's the warning. That's the urgency. That's the love God warns to protect, not to punish. He knows your heart. He knows your wounds. He knows your desires. He knows your weaknesses. He knows your battles. He knows your patterns. And because of that, He knows exactly where the enemy tries to slip in. Friend, this is not about fear. This is about discernment. It's about recognizing the subtle shift in your spirit and responding to it before it becomes a storm. It's about noticing the emotional fatigue before it turns into discouragement. It's about pulling away from familiar distractions before they steal your time. It's about closing the door before the enemy uses it. It's about choosing obedience before the opportunity arrives. God says, your next season depends on what you choose now. You've been feeling a heaviness you can't explain, a tightness in your spirit, a quiet warning in your heart, a whisper that feels like, be careful, pay attention, don't go back, not this time, don't ignore this one. That whisper is God's mercy. Friend, this time is different. This decision matters. This fork in the road is divine. And God is taking your face gently in His hands, looking you in the eyes and saying softly, please listen to me this time. This is your final chance to avoid unnecessary pain. Take a breath. Let that settle. Let it sink in. Let your heart respond. There is more, much more, that He wants to say to you. Friend, the reason this warning is coming now, the reason the whisper feels stronger, The reason your spirit is more sensitive than usual is because something in the spiritual realm has already shifted in your favor. But the enemy is trying to pull you out of position before the blessing reaches you. You might not feel it fully yet. You might not see it in the natural, but your spirit has already sensed the movement. That's why you've been feeling what you can't explain. That's why you've been emotional unexpectedly. That's why you've been quieter than usual. That's why certain things suddenly feel uncomfortable. That's why you've been losing interest in certain conversations. That's why peace suddenly feels fragile. These are the early signs of spiritual transition. God is preparing to deliver something into your life. But deliveries from heaven require alignment. The enemy cannot stop what God sends, but he can distract you enough that you're not standing in the right place to receive it. And God says, I warned you before so you wouldn't drift. I'm warning you again so you won't miss this moment. Not because you are weak, but because your heart is tender and the enemy uses subtlety where he can't use force. Friend, you've grown. Your spirit is stronger. Your discernment is deeper. Your connection to God is more sensitive. Your wisdom is sharper. But growth doesn't remove temptation. It exposes it sooner. Growth doesn't remove distraction. It makes it easier to recognize. And that recognition, that spiritual awareness, is the very reason God is speaking. Now, because he knows you're ready to understand what you once ignored. He knows you're ready to see what you once overlooked. He knows you're ready to resist what you once fell into. He knows you're ready to choose differently, and that's why he whispers. This is your final chance to break the cycle that has followed you for years. A cycle of emotional vulnerability, at the wrong time trusting the wrong people, returning to familiar pain, ignoring your intuition, silencing your discernment, settling for temporary comfort, giving access to those who don't deserve it, putting yourself last, allowing your compassion to become a doorway, hoping people will change when they have no intention to, opening your heart to quickly minimizing red flags, choosing loneliness over peace, confusing sympathy with responsibility, revisiting what God already delivered you from. God already gave you the wisdom. He already showed you the signs. He already revealed the truth. He already exposed hidden intentions. He already opened your eyes. But sometimes your heart still hopes for something God is trying to protect you from. And he says, because you didn't listen the last time, I am warning you again. But this time with greater urgency. Not to frighten you, but to save you. There is something you've been tempted to revisit. Something familiar. Something emotional. Something that once meant something to you. Something that whispers to the lonely places inside you. Something that strokes the parts of your heart that long for validation or connection. But God says, not again. Not this time. Do not return to what I pulled you out of. Because if you go back now, it will cost more than it ever did before. Not because God will punish you, but because you will be stepping backward while your destiny is trying to pull you forward. Friend, sometimes the hardest obedience is walking away from what feels familiar, even when it doesn't align with your future. Sometimes the loudest attack is the softest temptation. Sometimes the biggest danger is the quiet one. Sometimes the most damaging person is the one who appears harmless. Sometimes the most painful mistake is the one you repeat. God is trying to shield you from going through something again that he already rescued you from. He knows the emotional cost. He knows the spiritual drain. He knows the inner damage. He knows the confusion it brings. He knows the tears you cried before. He knows the delay it caused. He knows how much it broke you. And he says, I am not letting you walk back into that pain. This is your final chance to choose differently. Friend, your heart has matured enough to understand this. Not everyone who reaches for you was sent by God. Some were sent to distract, some to delay, some to drain, some to confuse, some to weaken, some to reopen wounds, some to slow your spiritual growth, some to disturb your peace. And this warning is coming because someone or something is about to reappear, not to bless you, but to test you. God says, this time, don't fall for it. You've prayed for clarity. You've prayed for signs. You've prayed for discernment. You've prayed for strength. This warning is the answer. This message is the sign. This whisper is the clarity. This tug in your spirit is the discernment. Friend, God is not trying to scare you. He is trying to save you from a version of yourself you're no longer meant to be. He is protecting your healing, protecting your progress, protecting your peace, protecting your destiny, protecting your future. You can feel that truth in your chest, that quiet ache, that gentle conviction, that soft pressure. That's him, and he isn't finished speaking. There is more he wants to reveal to you. Settle in, inhale slowly. God is still speaking to you. Friend, there is a reason your spirit feels stirred as you read this. It's because God is touching a part of you that has been quiet for too long. A part of you that has been waiting for clarity, longing for peace, needing direction, hoping for confirmation. And he is saying, this is it. This is the moment I've been preparing you for. You've carried confusion in silence. You've been feeling torn between what your heart wants and what your spirit knows. You've been standing between two emotional worlds, the familiar world that once felt safe, and the new world that feels uncertain but ordained. And God whispers, choose me, not your emotions. Choose purpose, not comfort. Choose healing, not history. Friend, the truth is, you've been tempted to settle, not because you're weak, but because you're tired. Tired of waiting, tired of hoping, tired of fighting spiritual battles alone, tired of feeling like breakthrough is always close but never fully arrives. You've been trying to fill the silence with anything that makes you feel something, trying to soothe the ache inside you with whatever is easiest to reach. And the enemy saw that exhaustion and whispered, go back, reconnect. It's easier there. You are happier. Then, you're alone now. You'll never find better. This time it might work. He always lies in the language of emotion, but God speaks to the truth of your destiny, and he says, do not return to what I healed you from. Do not resurrect what I ended. Do not reopen what I closed. Do not chase what I removed, because going back will cost more now than it ever did before. Not financially, not physically, not socially, spiritually. Friend, you are in a spiritual position right now that is more valuable than you realize. You've grown, you've matured, you've healed, you've become wiser. Your discernment is stronger. Your heart is more guarded. Your spirit is more awake. The version of you today is not compatible with the pain of your past. If you go back now, your spirit will feel the weight immediately. The discomfort, the tension, the spiritual tightness, the emotional drain, the loss of peace, and God does not want you tangled again. He says, This time, your obedience is the final proof of your readiness. You prayed for elevation. You prayed for clarity. You prayed for purpose. You prayed for a sign. You prayed for a shift. You prayed for healing. And now God is waiting for your response to the warning He is giving. Because the next blessing, the next opportunity, the next connection, the next open door, the next revelation depends on the decision you make in this moment. Friend, hear this gently. Not everyone is meant to walk into the next season with you. Not everything familiar aligns with your future. Not every feeling is a sign. Not every memory is a reason. Not every desire is from God. Some things feel right but lead wrong. Some things feel comforting but become cages. Some things feel needed but drain your spirit. Some things feel harmless but delay destiny. And God says, this time, trust me over your feelings. Your heart has carried so much more than people realize, more than you've spoken about, more than you've admitted. But now God is strengthening the parts of you that were once vulnerable to the wrong voices, creating distance between you and the very thing that cannot go with you into your calling. That's why your emotions feel conflicted. That's why your peace feels tested. That's why your spirit feels unsettled. He is pulling you forward while the enemy tries to pull you backward. You're standing in the middle where the choice matters most, and heaven is whispering urgently, lovingly, choose the future, choose purpose, choose growth, choose clarity, choose me, friend. This is not just about resisting temptation. This is about positioning yourself for destiny. God is trying to prepare you for something bigger than your past, something more beautiful than what broke you, something more meaningful than what you lost. And He cannot place new blessings into hands that are still holding old wounds. This warning is not the voice of anger. It is the voice of protection. It's God standing in front of you, shielding you, guarding you, guiding you. He is saying, I love you too much to let you walk blind into the same pain again. Take a breath. Let that truth settle into you. There is more, much more He wants to whisper to you. Friend, come closer for a moment in your spirit. There is something God has been waiting to tell you, but He needed your heart to be still enough to hear it. You've been wrestling silently, not with people, not with your past, not even with your emotions, but with alignment. There is a version of you that God is calling forward, and a version of you that life tried to trap in the past. And right now, you are in the space between who you were and who you are becoming. That in-between place is sacred, and dangerous sacred because heaven is shaping you. Dangerous because the enemy is targeting you. And God says, I warned you before because you were vulnerable. I'm warning you again because now you are valuable. You see, when you were weak, the enemy wanted to break you. But now that you're stronger, the enemy wants to distract you. One attack was meant to crush you. This next attack is meant to delay you. You have grown too much for the devil to destroy you. So his new strategy is to detour you, to pull your spirit just enough off course so that you miss the timing of what God is releasing next. That's why there has been confusion lately. Why your emotions felt unpredictable. Why your discernment felt foggy. Why your motivation fluctuated. Why your peace felt fragile. Why your dreams felt distant. This was not weakness. This was interference. But God is clearing the interference now. He is waking up the parts of you that you forgot were powerful. He is reigniting the fire inside. You that grief tried to dim. He is speaking to the strength inside you that disappointment tried to bury. He is restoring the clarity inside you that past wounds tried to cloud. And he whispers, "My child." This warning is not about fear. It is about preparation. You are standing at the edge of something holy. You've been feeling that in your spirit, that quiet sense of expectation, that unknown stirring in your heart, that awareness that something is about to shift, and the enemy knows it too. That is why old patterns reappeared, why old feelings resurfaced, why old connections tried to return, why old temptations whispered again, why old wounds felt fresh. Not because you're going backward, but because the enemy wants to pull you backward, just as God is trying to pull you forward. Friend, this is not coincidence. This is spiritual. The enemy studies your history because he's afraid of your destiny. He attacks the place where your progress began. He pokes at the places where you healed. He nudges the areas where you once fell. He revisits the moments where you were broken. He tempts you with the comfort that once trapped you. He whispers through the voices that once distracted you, not because he is strong, but because you are rising. And God says, this is the last time that cycle will have access to you if you listen to me now. You have come too far to lose yourself to the same patterns again. Your heart has matured. Your spirit has awakened. Your calling is stirring. Your purpose is closer. Your breakthrough is near. This warning is not to scare you. It is to secure you. It is God placing his hand gently on your shoulder and saying, don't drift now. Don't look back now. Don't get tired now. Don't entertain distractions now. Don't return to what I rescued you from now. This is your final chance to shut the door permanently. Because the truth is, you don't need closure from the past. You need direction toward the future. You don't need what broke you. You don't need who confused you. You don't need what drained you. You don't need what wounded you. You don't need what slowed you down. And deep down, you already know it. God is not trying to take anything from you. He is trying to protect the version of you. He has been forming in the quiet places of your soul. You have grown spiritually, but the enemy is hoping you don't realize it. He wants you to respond the old way to new tests. He wants you to choose the familiar path instead of the right one. He wants you to be emotionally triggered instead of spiritually awakened. He wants you to feel unworthy instead of chosen. He wants you to feel alone so you will reach for the wrong hands. But God says, you are not alone. My presence has been surrounding you, even when you felt nothing. Friend, God has been watching over you silently, protecting you from decisions you didn't realize were dangerous, guiding you away from people you didn't know were draining you, shielding you from opportunities that were not truly blessings, blocking doors you didn't realize were traps, interrupting plans that would have broken you. You didn't see the danger because he intervened before you walked into it. That's why he warns you again. This is your final chance to align your heart with your destiny, because the blessing God has prepared is too big to carry with divided loyalty, too precious to place in unstable hands, too significant to mix with old cycles, too holy to give two distracted hearts. This is why he is speaking so clearly now. Not because you're failing, but because you are so close to succeeding that heaven is tightening your path. Friend, take a slow breath. Your breakthrough is nearer than your fear and closer than your confusion. God is not done whispering to you. There is a final part. Your closing, your healing, your alignment, your release. Friend, come closer for a moment in your spirit. There is something God has been waiting to tell you, but He needed your heart to be still enough to hear it. You've been wrestling silently, not with people, not with your past, not even with your emotions, but with alignment. There is a version of you that God is calling forward, and a version of you that life tried to trap in the past. And right now, you are in the space between who you were and who you are becoming. That in-between place is sacred, and dangerous sacred because heaven is shaping you. Dangerous because the enemy is targeting you. And God says, I warned you before because you were vulnerable. I'm warning you again because now you are valuable. You see, when you were weak, the enemy wanted to break you. But now that you're stronger, the enemy wants to distract you. One attack was meant to crush you. This next attack is meant to delay you. You have grown too much for the devil to destroy you. So his new strategy is to detour you, to pull your spirit just enough off course so that you miss the timing of what God is releasing next. That's why there has been confusion lately. Why your emotions felt unpredictable. Why your discernment felt foggy. Why your motivation fluctuated. Why your peace felt fragile. Why your dreams felt distant. This was not weakness. This was interference. But God is clearing the interference now. He is waking up the parts of you that you forgot were powerful. He is reigniting the fire inside. You that grief tried to dim. He is speaking to the strength inside you that disappointment tried to bury. He is restoring the clarity inside you that past wounds tried to cloud. And He whispers, my child, this warning is not about fear. It is about preparation. You are standing at the edge of something holy. You've been feeling that in your spirit, that quiet sense of expectation, that unknown stirring in your heart, that awareness that something is about to shift, and the enemy knows it too. That is why old patterns reappeared, why old feelings resurfaced, why old connections tried to return, why old temptations whispered again, why old wounds felt fresh. Not because you're going backward, but because the enemy wants to pull you backward, just as God is trying to pull you forward. Friend, this is not coincidence. This is spiritual. The enemy studies your history because he's afraid of your destiny. He attacks the place where your progress began. He pokes at the places where you healed. He nudges the areas where you once fell. He revisits the moments where you were broken. He tempts you with the comfort that once trapped you. He whispers through the voices that once distracted you, not because he is strong, but because you are rising. And God says, this is the last time that cycle will have access to you if you listen to me now. You have come too far to lose yourself to the same patterns again. Your heart has matured. Your spirit has awakened. Your calling is stirring. Your purpose is closer. Your breakthrough is near. This warning is not to scare you. It is to secure you. It is God placing His hand gently on your shoulder and saying, don't drift now. Don't look back now. Don't get tired now. Don't entertain distractions now. Don't return to what I rescued you from now. This is your final chance to shut the door permanently. Because the truth is, you don't need closure from the past. You need direction toward the future. You don't need what broke you. You don't need who confused you. You don't need what drained you. You don't need what wounded you. You don't need what slowed you down. And deep down, you already know it. God is not trying to take anything from you. He is trying to protect the version of you. He has been forming in the quiet places of your soul. You have grown spiritually, but the enemy is hoping you don't realize it. He wants you to respond the old way to new tests. He wants you to choose the familiar path instead of the right one. He wants you to be emotionally triggered instead of spiritually awakened. He wants you to feel unworthy instead of chosen. He wants you to feel alone so you will reach for the wrong hands. But God says, you are not alone. My presence has been surrounding you, even when you felt nothing. Friend, God has been watching over you silently, protecting you from decisions you didn't realize were dangerous, guiding you away from people you didn't know were draining you, shielding you from opportunities that were not truly blessings, blocking doors you didn't realize were traps, interrupting plans that would have broken you. You didn't see the danger because He intervened before you walked into it. That's why He warns you again. This is your final chance to align your heart with your destiny, because the blessing God has prepared is too big to carry with divided loyalty, too precious to place in unstable hands, too significant to mix with old cycles, too holy to give to distracted hearts. This is why He is speaking so clearly now, not because you're failing, but because you are so close to succeeding that heaven is tightening your path. Friend, take a slow breath. Your breakthrough is nearer than your fear and closer than your confusion. God is not done whispering to you. There is a final part: your closing, your healing, your alignment, your release.